Hi everyone, Jess here at Aviation Festival Asia, and today I'm joined with Ayman Aboabah, CEO of King Abdulaziz International Airport. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for your time and thank you for the opportunity.
Of course. So firstly, how does digital transformation assist in achieving the goals of Vision 2030?
Well, digital transformation, as we already mentioned in the previous session and panels, digital transformation is an enablement, it's not a goal. So digital transformation is to have the best fit technology to assure the right integration and collaboration in the foundation and in the airport platform to assure that you have the best seamless passenger journey and toward the best passenger experience.
Fantastic. And do you anticipate any difficulties in managing high demand exceeding capacity, and what strategies will you employ to mitigate them?
When we talk about the difficulty that facing the high demand, let me start from the upstream. You know, in aviation and in airport transportation, you have the upstream and the downstream. When we talk about the upstream, I'm talking about the carrier and the airline. The downstream, which is the airport, and we are the land base, but there are another major player, which is the airline. My question will be, do we have enough aircraft that could cater for the upcoming demand? As you know, the worldwide population is growing massively. Today we are about 8 billion human being, 7.8 almost. So with that figure, I believe the demand is growing by natural and genuine growth. At the same time, the government, like Saudi Arabia, is putting an ambitious vision of a 2030 toward great growth in non-oil GDP, which is one of them is the transportation, according to the national strategy of transportation and logistics. We have a very ambitious goal in the aviation in general. So, as we already know, that Saudi Arabia today, in overall, managed to operate up to 90 million passenger. Our vision of a 2030 and national strategy of aviation and logistics, of transportation and logistics, is setting a goal of a 330 million passenger before 2030. KAIA, King Abdulaziz International Airport, goal and share from that goal is 114. So we are third of the vision goal. Coming from what we have today in 2019, we operate around 30 million passenger. In 2022, we operate 31 up to 32 million passenger. This year, we have a goal of a 47 million passenger.
Wow.
We expect that we may close 50 million passenger. So the growth is there, the demand is there. Airport might maximize the capacity by, minimizing the time of process or utilizing, best optimizing the space, which means the capacity is either a space or a time. So if you have shortened time, you have better capacity and more capacity. If you have more space, you have and good utilization, you will have better capacity. All airports could run beyond the design capacity. But the question is, how about the upstream? If you look at the aircraft manufacturer, today they have a queue of a 10 up to 15 years for the upcoming orders, especially once it comes to the commercial aircraft, the narrow body, the wide body that could cater for 100 of a passenger, between 180 up to 450 passenger. Those type of aircraft are really rare today, and the demand is going beyond the supply from the upstream level. So what I'm saying, I hope that the airline doing their best by applying several techniques like the Sixth Freedom to assure that we have the best utilization of any aircraft movement from a country to another country, raising up the load factor. But there are a challenge related to the upstream, and I leave that to the airline. But I'm going to come now to the challenges that we have in the downstream of that blockchain. Downstream in this movement is the airport. And the airport today is facing several challenges. You know, the passenger profile, especially once it comes to KAIA, we are really having 4 business operational model. We have the domestic, which is most of the airport does have. We have the international point-to-point, which is all the international airport does have. We have the transit, and the transit target is around 30 million passenger now, up to the vision of a 2030. The point here, KAIA portion will be like 50 million passenger before 2030. So that's the third business operational model. The last one is Hajj and Umrah. You know, Jeddah and King Abdulaziz International Airport is a gateway for the Holy Mosque. So all religious or Muslim people are targeting Jeddah to visit the Holy Mosque. And as you know, all Muslims are mandated to perform Umrah and Hajj once in their life. If you look at the Muslim population, they are beyond 2.5 up to 3 billion Muslim in the world, which is around half of the world today are Muslims. So if you look at that figures, you knew that we are facing an endless challenge with a new passenger that they visited Jeddah for the first time in their life, from different culture, from different mindset, from different educational level. And those differences create the difficulty that we are managing today. And those difficulty usually managed by proper planning, stakeholder engagement. So we are planning all the seasons that we have on a monthly basis with Minister of Hajj and Umrah, with the province, Minister of Interior, Immigration, Security, Military, Customs, Airlines, ground handlers, all the service provider. We have an integrated plan that being developed each season and updated on a monthly basis according to the development. In the same time, for that planning, you have the risk mitigation plan and risk scenarios plan with the action to do by each stakeholder, and that have been spread among all over the stakeholder, known with some drill and some virtual practice, and virtual drilling for that scenarios. Third, you have to have an operational meeting on a frequently basis. When you have the high season peak, you have it on a daily basis. And you have a standby silver room and gold room, we call it the war room. Once you have any abnormal, out of the planned operation, you activate those silver room, the war room, the SWAT team. At the same time, you have a daily operational stakeholder engagement meeting that happened as we are speaking today, to assure that all stakeholders are in line, and if there are anything that happened yesterday that we can fix it today, we fix it. You shouldn't wait until that challenge become real bottleneck or create a conjunction that you cannot manage. And you have what we call it the weekly review, and we have the monthly review in a high level in the executive level. Nowadays we reach the bi-weekly review by the excellency level, His Excellency level, the President of GACA, and the other excellency level from the ministries and others, to assure that we are going according to the plan, achieving what we commit to do, and our forecast is accurate, and we are adjusting that plan, down the road according to the development that happened on the ground. Other difficulty that you are facing when you have a problem that good to have. Sometimes the demand is a goal that you want to have that demand to achieve the goals that you have. But sometimes the demand come beyond your expectation, above the plan. And we said it's a problem good to have, but it's a problem hard to manage. So when you have that huge volume of people, you have two challenges. One of them, they came above of the plan, beyond your plan, and not because you don't plan properly. No, because this is a normal challenges that happened with aviation, happened with airports. So knowing that, it's one of the risks that we already addressed, and we have the mitigation plan for that risk to activate the backup plan to assure that you manage that volume. Second, if that volumes comes at once, especially in the departure. So if that volume comes at once in the departure, you have to have the right plan to assure that you have the dispatching center, segregation point, to dispatch and to segregate and to manage those movement to the right terminal. So having that standby today exist, activated all the year, will help us actually to manage those difficulty. It's an endless list of difficulty, but I highlighted what I believe it's the most important difficulty.
Absolutely. Thank you for the detail in that. That was really, really interesting. And I particularly liked where you highlighted the sort of responsibilities that come with being a gateway, and how, as much as that brings responsibilities, it can also bring challenges with the sort of capacity and everything. So thank you for that.
In King Abdulaziz International Airport, as I mentioned, we are the gateway for the Holy Mosque, and we are the gateway for the Western coast and all Western area in Saudi Arabia that does have tourism attraction. Red Sea, Amala, Al-Ula, and others, Jeddah season, Formula, and you can call it. Now Saudi Arabia is investing heavily to raise up the non-oil GDP and to assure that we move from dependency in oil GDP for non-oil GDP in general. So we consider ourselves as positive contributor in the non-oil GDP economy in Saudi Arabia. In the same time, as I said, the airport is the first touch point for any traveler and visitor of Saudi Arabia. So we're keen and honored to reflect Saudi Arabia investment and effort to welcome all visitors to Saudi Arabia.
Fantastic. So finally now, what do you enjoy about coming to Aviation Festival Asia?
Well, always my judgment for such an event is not about how many people there or how many company or how big is that event. It's about the value of the represented people there. So if you find the right service provider, as we find in this event, and you find the partner that you are looking for to meet and to assure that you have the right business compliance and business integration and business alignment, I believe it's the key success factor and the key and the success factor measure to say this is a successful event that I wish to visit again.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.